So just take a moment here to welcome yourself to your practice and to try not to get too used to hearing that, to really take this moment to let yourself settle in whatever space that you're in. Sometimes we can start to move into our practice out of habit. So really try to become conscious of how you place your body, how you place your mat, and start to become aware of your next few breaths as you find alignment through your spine, as you find a posture that feels good to you, somewhere between tension and complete collapse, right? So somewhere that's firm and steady. And you might find your shoulders wanting to soften. Just notice what happens as you let the rest of your day just fall to the side. To let whatever happened today or this last week or even in the last moment to just be placed to the side for a moment and really truly welcome yourself to this moment. You might find that your eyes would like to close or soften. Turn your attention on yourself and just notice, find what feels good. Your breath doesn't have to be any certain way, just notice it as it arises. Maybe some are in and out through the nose, maybe a few breaths out through the mouth. And maybe there's just a little fidgeting or movement to help get settled in here. Notice any of the distractions. Notice the things now that might be pulling you away from turning your attention in, from turning your attention to this moment. Is there anything that's pulling you away in maybe experiences you've had this past week or through the day? Or are there any noises that seem to be pulling your attention? Any worries or concerns? Any physical ailments that might be drawing your attention? So take the next few moments to notice any of the distractions. Now we're going to deepen our breath here. You can keep your eyes closed or open, whatever feels better to you. And this breath practice will just be about 1 minute long. And for the first half of that, we'll do some deep belly breathing called bellows breath. And I'll demonstrate it so you can kind of hear and see what's going on there, but it's really simple. And the next half of that minute will be an ujjayi breath. And an ujjayi breath is a little constriction at the back of your throat. It's like the action you would take fogging up a mirror. Right? You feel that heat come out of your mouth, but you'll breathe with the mouth closed. So you still find that little constriction here. And it creates sort of like an oceanic sound at the back of your throat. So let's begin with those deep bellow breaths. Breathing in, your belly will inflate. And then use your diaphragm to press that breath out through the nose. And we'll speed this breath up just a little bit. So an energizing, sort of heating breath here. Keep it going on your own. Breathing in, the belly inflates, and breathing out, the belly draws in. 3 more. Invite space in your body as you breathe. And then make a transition here into your ujjayi breath. So a little slower breath now, still in and out through the nose, but finding that oceanic kind of sound at the back of your throat. Allow this technique to help slow down your breath and to really help draw your attention in here. It's hard to focus on much else whenever you really engage with the breath. And we'll do 3 more of these. Long, slow breath in. Long, slow breath out. Little constriction at the back of the throat. Just do your best. 2 more. Invite fullness and spaciousness. And on this last one, a sense of ease. Let it be just a little easier. And when you finish that breath, transition just to a natural breath. You can let go of the technique and just drop the chin down towards the chest. We'll start to move here. As you drop the chin to the chest, you might find naturally that your Ujjayi breath wants to come back, just finding that constriction again in the throat. And this is a really great breath to carry through your practice if you can. If it feels a little bit complicated, don't worry about it. Just breathe in and out through the nose. And then on your next inhale, lift your chin all the way up. Feel your spine elongating, the chest opening, shoulders rolling back. And then start to move with your breath. Exhale, draw the chin to the chest, round your spine. Hands can be on the knees. And inhale, lift up the chest, the head. And exhale, roll the spine back. So moving through a seated cat and cow. Inhale, lift the spine, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, roll the spine back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. And one more time with your breath. Inhale. And exhale, roll it back. Come through center and bring your hands to the heart. Press into your hands. You point your elbows out to the sides. Press a little bit harder so that your arms begin to shake and engage all through the arms. You might even feel a little stretch in between the shoulder blades. Just press, press, press as hard as you can here. Waking up all the muscles here. And then soften everything and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist to the left, press out through the palms. We're going to keep the hands at the height of the shoulders. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale to twist the other way, pressing out through the heels of the hands. Inhale, come through center. We'll do that one more time each way. Exhale to twist. Inhale, center. And exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale, come through center. And then take your arms right out to the sides. Press the heels of the hands. Lift up your chest. Really press, press, press. Draw the fingers back towards you. Soften the chest just a little bit and turn the fingers down. And then do that rotation a few more times, just rotating from the shoulders all the way around with those fingertips. Turn the palms up. Inhale, arms come overhead. And exhale into a forward fold. Hands come down in front of you and stretch it out. Let the head bow. Draw your hips down towards the mat. Let the head hang and just take a couple deep breaths here into your back body. Notice where your body could really use this space today. Maybe you have a little sway in the body as you breathe here. Remembering that this is your own practice. This is a unique practice to you. And I always invite you to make it your own, to go off course when you need to or off trail. We'll have plenty of meeting points along the way to catch back up together. Then walk your hands back to center and we'll come over into a tabletop. So you can shake out the hands if you need to, just take any sort of organic movement here and make your way into all fours. Once you arrive here, line hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and lift up your right foot towards the ceiling, and we're going to start to circle that right knee and hip. So just do 3 in one direction and try to balance out the weight between the hands. And then switch the direction of your circles. Find a connection with your breath as you start to move and synchronize the body, the mind, and your breath. Then after that third circle, this other direction, shoot your right foot straight back, lift your heel a little higher than your hips. A lot of times we're right in line with the body, but I'll invite you to go a little higher today into a back bend, lifting up your chest like you would for cow. And then exhale, knee to nose, curl it all in. Inhale, lift up the heel behind you, gaze forward, and exhale, knee to nose. One more time, inhale out. Exhale, draw it in. And release the knee to the mat. Right away, go ahead and switch sides. So lift that left heel and start to circle that left knee around. Notice if you collapse into the right hand and you can balance out that weight a little more evenly. Switch direction of your circles. And then extend the left leg all the way back, lift up through the heel, stretch your chest forward. Exhale, knee to nose, curl it in underneath. 2 more times, breathe in, find a little back bend. Exhale, draw it in. One more time, big extension. And exhale, draw it in. Release the knees down and come into child's pose. Knees apart, big toes together. And walk your arms out in front of you, extended arms, maybe feeling a little grip of the fingertips under your yoga mat or under your finger pads. Breathe into this extension. Notice if you can make a little space in your spine, or maybe if there's an area of the spine that's like, oh yeah, this feels really good. And just, tuning in for yourself. Just noticing what's here for you. Then come up onto your finger pads. You can lift your head and walk your fingers to the left side of your mat. We're going to fold over the left thigh and knee. For more sensation, you can interlace right fingers over left. And take a couple breaths into that right side body, drawing the right hip down towards the right heel. Nice, full, long breaths, right? Don't cut yourself short. The breath is really what makes this practice so unique, what makes it yoga. The breath is that connector piece that we all, really need, that we seek to help find balance and calm and this connection with our own bodies and minds. Then come back up onto the hands and walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Same thing over here, fold over the right leg. For more sensation, left fingers interlace the right. Big long stretch along the left side body, drawing hips to heels, connecting to your breath. As we move through the different postures, you'll notice the breath change. You'll notice the sensation change. Try not to judge any of this. Try to just be a really observant witness of all of this today, to just maybe find some appreciation for all the different sensations that you find today. It can be like a little scavenger hunt. All right, come back onto the hands and walk back through center. Release down in the middle one more time. Take one breath in. Let it go. Inhale, come forward to tabletop and realign your knees under the hips. Inhale, send your right leg back, left arm forward. So this time we're finding our balance and engaging through the belly. And on your exhale, we're going to take the arm and leg out to the side. Inhale, come through center. And exhale out to the side. One more time, inhale. Exhale, side. Inhale, come through center. And release down to your mat. Switch sides, left foot back, right arm forward. Exhale, kick out to the side, turn those toes out. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. One more time. Nice. Come through center, inhale, and release it down, tabletop. Tuck your toes and lower right down onto your elbows into a version of puppy pose. Let's actually cross the forearms here. So you can hold on to opposite elbows and walk your elbows as far forward as you can, bringing the forehead down onto the arms, or if you have the space, you might bring your head down to the mat. A version of puppy pose, making space in between the shoulders and the area of the heart. Imagine you could breathe right into the back of the heart here. And lift your head up, bring your hands back underneath of you, and come into plank pose. Press away from the mat, find your strength. Maybe you rock a little forward, backwards, just finding that sweet spot. Then make your way to downward dog. Lift your hips, gaze back towards the shins, reach the heels down. You can pedal your feet a little bit here if that feels good. Maybe try something new today to welcome yourself into your first down dog. Not just moving out of habit, but really exploring, how does your body feel today? What do you need to do to help loosen it all up and connect to your strength? Maybe you need to let go of something here. Take a walk to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Let yourself hang as you exhale. Maybe the knees are a little bent. And then inhale to reverse swan dive, but go a little slowly on this first one. Knees can stay bent, reach all the way up, and make your way into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, hands to the mat and step back into plank pose. Lower knees, chest, chin, also known as 8-point salute. So knees come down first, chest right between the hands, and then the chin. Then slide on through to baby cobra. So you'll probably kick your legs back a little, hug your elbows in and lift your chest. And then make your way back to downward dog, letting your breath guide you. Inhale, right leg to the sky, lift up through the back of the heel. Exhale, knee to nose, curl it in underneath, fingers grip into the mat. Inhale, shoot the leg back out. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, shoot the leg out. And twist it underneath, knee to left elbow. On this next one, step all the way through. Inhale, extend the leg. And exhale, step between the hands. Lower the left knee, untuck the toe, and rest your forearms on the thigh. Let the weight of the torso press down into that front foot and allow the hips to sink a little lower. Connect to your breath. Let it be a little easy for a moment. Notice if you start to build tension whenever we add on some of that strength building movement. We're looking more for that firm and steady, right? Not so much of the tense force. So keep listening to your body and try to find a consistency as you move through both the strength and the deeper stretch. On your next inhale, really root into those feet. You can let the arms drop beside you and sweep up into a low crescent lunge. Right hand comes to the hip, left arm reaches up and over. Breathe in and out. One more breath in. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, right hand comes to the knee. Press the knee open, look over your right shoulder into a lizard variation. You can roll onto the edge of your right foot. Bring yourself back around, hands frame the front foot, and then shift the hips straight back into half splits. Take a couple of breaths to fold over the shin. Let the crown of the head guide forward, the chin drawing down. On your next breath, inhale, roll back forward, tuck the back toe, and step back to plank pose. Knees, chest, chin as you exhale. The butt stays lifted, lower the chest, elbows hug in, and then inhale, slide through baby cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Move with your breath. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, knee to elbow. Try to tap high. Inhale out. Exhale, cross it underneath to your right elbow. Extend. And step it on through. Lower the knee, untuck the toe, and bring your forearms up to the thigh. Pressing the weight down into that front foot, letting the hips get a nice deep stretch here. Breathe deep into your belly. Remember that bellows breath that we started with today. Feel your diaphragm draw the air in, and maybe a little more purposefully press that breath out. Let the arms drop, press into your feet. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Your hips might lift a little as you come into that crescent lunge. Left hand comes down, and then reach up and over, side body stretch. Take a full cycle of breath. Relax the jaw. One more breath in. And exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Press into your left knee, let the hips sink, gaze over your left. And then come back through center, square off the hands on the mat, and shift your hips straight back into half splits. If you have yoga blocks, this can be really helpful to have blocks under the hands if the ground feels far away or if it feels like you have to really round your spine. Walk the hands forward, tuck the toe. We're going to step forward this time. So hop that right foot to meet its partner at the top of your mat and fold the head down. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe out through the mouth here. Engage the lower belly and inner legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left foot back only and walk around to the long edge of your mat. Take a wide leg forward fold here. Let the head go. And then take a walk forward to the front of your mat again. Step your left foot to meet the right and sit back into chair pose. Reach your arms overhead, sit your hips down. Now we're going to go lower, 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 really embracing the heat today. We're going to get that fire burning. You're going to lower your hips all the way to the mat. Try to not use your hands if you can, and then roll down to your back. So you're coming sort of through a bridge pose here. And when your spine meets the mat, hug your knees into the chest. You might find a little rock side to side, or just give yourself a hug. Let the feet come down to the mat, hands by your sides. Right ankle crosses over left knee for a figure four shape. We're going to turn this into a figure four bridge. So find that footing, find your footing with that left sole, really grounding into the toes, ball of the foot, and heel. And then lift the hips, inhale, exhale, lower. We'll do 5 of these. Move at your own pace, inhaling to lift and exhale to lower. 3 more. For a bonus on this last one, lift the hips and then lift the heel also. And lower it back down. Uncross the feet, windshield wiper the knees side to side, bringing the arms out into a T shape. We're going to have a fun little get up here. Actually, let's do the other side while we're on our backs. We'll do something different on the next round. Let's cross the left ankle over right knee. You can bring your hands by your sides. And then let's do 5 more of those bridge pose on the other side. Option to lift that heel as well. Take your time, try not to rush. Last one. And when you're done with those 5, spread your feet as wide as the mat, arms to a T, and just windshield wiper the knees again, side to side. Pause the movement. Draw the knees into the chest, but hold behind the thighs. Start to rock and roll along the length of your mat. We're gonna hop back into plank pose if you've got it in you tonight, so you can give it a try maybe if you've never done it before. Cross the ankles, hands come in front, hop back to plank. We're gonna do this again, so you can give it a shot on the first one. Nice. If you made it to your plank pose, go ahead and lower through chaturanga, halfway or all the way down. Inhale to a cobra or up dog, and make your way back to downward dog. Excellent. Breathe it out here. Stretch those heels down. Notice how you feel. Become that observer. Bend the knees, gaze forward, walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. If you hop, you want to try to land lightly. Sit the hips down and back, chair pose, reach the arms overhead, breathe in, breathe out. Sanding all the way up, maybe a little back bend at the top here, and exhale, Tadasana. Bring your hands to heart center, just take a cleansing breath. Find your center. See where you might be able to soften, to let go, to unclench. Focus in on your breath and especially that deep belly breathing. Notice how you stand. Can you invite more spaciousness, maybe in the legs or the hips? Maybe in your spine or in your chest. Notice where the body might habitually collapse, right? Get nice and strong, steady and firm. We're going to do a similar flow, bringing us down to our back again. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, fold it down. Sit the hips down and back, arms reach overhead. Settle in. Get a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. Keep it going until you get your booty all the way to the mat and roll down to your back. Draw the knees into the chest. Breathe. Bring your arms by your sides. This time extend the legs all the way up. Flex your feet so your toes are drawing down towards your face. Press up through the heels and balls of the feet. Feel your arches taking form. You can feel the arches of your feet stretching here. The thighs are firm, pressing hands into the mat. Really, the whole body's engaged. Make sure you're still breathing with all of that going on. Not holding the breath. Bring the hands to the inner thighs, and we're going to use the hands to give us a little more engagement here. So press the legs all the way open. Give yourself a stretch. But then keep pressing into the thighs as you draw the feet back together. So the arms are giving you some resistance here. You might notice the legs start to shake. Slowly, slowly bring them back together. And we'll do that two more times. Press the legs open, enjoy the stretch. And then start to squeeze the thighs back together. Press into the hands. Go slowly. Let those legs start to shake. Let all those little muscles that maybe don't get a lot of action to wake up. One more time. And then lower the knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Hold onto the backs of the thighs. You have one more shot here to do that jump back. This time, when you hop back, go right into your chaturanga. So you're almost landing with bent elbows. Just see if you can give it a shot. Find the momentum. And when you feel ready, cross the ankles, plant the hands, and hop back. Breathe through your flow. Remember, you could keep it low cobra like we did in the beginning, feeling out what's right for you tonight. Nice deep breaths, reach those heels down. Step your right foot between the hands and walk to the long edge of your mat again. So we were here a little bit ago, coming into a wide leg fold. Walk both hands to the left foot, fold over the left shin. Nothing fancy here, just stretch over that left leg. And walk over to the right leg, get a stretch here. Come right through center. Extend your arms forward to feeling your hips shift back. Getting a little grip under the fingertips, stretching out the upper body, kind of like you do in downward dog. Breathe. Now, last variation, bring your hands back underneath of your shoulders. And if you can, walk the hands in between the feet. So if you could draw a line between your arches here, plant those hands right on along that line. Now feel your fingertips gripping into the mat like cat claws. I'm going to give you an option here to sort of play with a handstand. A handstand. We're not going into handstand, but a prep pose for it. I mean, if you have your handstand and want to play with it, you're welcome to do that. But we're just going to start by lifting up the heels and pressing those hands really firmly into the mat. You'll notice your fingertips almost become white to balance out the weight, right? And you can do that a few times, lifting the heels, getting those arms nice and strong, and then lowering the heels back down. So if hands between the feet was too much for your wrists, or you're not quite feeling safe here in your balance, you might walk the hands a little more forward and try again. And if this is like, no, don't feel like doing that tonight, don't want to work on a handstand, you can also allow yourself to just take a nice deep fold here. So wherever you're at, take a couple more breaths. If you're lifting up onto those toes, you're probably feeling that through the legs as well now. And then we're going to walk towards the front edge of the mat, coming into a runner's lunge. Crescent lunge, anchor into your feet. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, wash the hands down. Send your right leg all the way back and up into the sky. three-legged dog, hold it here. Come forward to a three-legged plank. Lower your toes down, regular plank, and then lower down onto your forearms. One more breath, you've got it. Lower all the way down through the hips for Sphinx pose. You might walk your elbows a little further forward so they're right under the shoulders. Take a breather here. Feel your chest opening, spine elongating. Maybe you move the head a little bit, either gazing over the shoulders or maybe you just do a little side to side or circling through the neck. Lower all the way down to your belly, crocodile pose. Hands cross, forehead rests on the back of the hands. Let the heels splay out. Slow it down. Remember your bellows breath from the beginning of practice and breathe deeply into the belly. Find that edge so that you're not forcing the breath, but you're finding, how big you can breathe here without stressing your body, without forcing it to go beyond what feels good. Although we might become aware if we're sometimes turned off by a challenge or by shaking or some of those other sensations. So maybe we don't think it feels good, but we can learn to appreciate some of those sensations as well. And walk your hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to make our way back to downward dog. So you maybe can press up through push-up, or maybe you press back to child's pose. So take the next few breaths on your own and make your way to down dog. Step your left foot through between the hands. We're just going to balance out that lunge pose. Inhale, root into your feet, rise up with the arms. Breathe. One more breath in. And release, hands come down. Send that left foot all the way back, three-legged dog. Breathe, press into the hands. Come forward, three-legged plank. Lower the toes, lower down onto the forearms, forearm plank. And this time we'll come into dolphin pose. So lift your hips, walk your toes a little closer towards the arms, chest moves back towards the shins. If you have a forearm balance in your practice or want to play with some donkey kicks, you're welcome to do that. Also, holding dolphin pose is great at building strength in the shoulders. So this is a fine place to be. If you're playing with your donkey kicks, balance out both sides. And lower down through the knees, sit back to child's pose. Let the arms release wherever they're comfortable. Maybe alongside the torso, maybe a little pillow for the head. Lift the head, start to walk the hands back so you're sitting on your heels in hero's pose. We're just going to do a little different transition to come to stand. So go ahead and tuck your toes and then balance on the toes, toe stand. We're going to use the strength of the legs to rise. See if you can stay balancing on the toes. Go slowly. Try not to use momentum here. So you feel the body engage as you slowly lift up through each inch. Keep on lifting, let the arms rise up, take up all of your space. And then release, hands come down, hips come down, and just shake it out a little bit. Nice cleansing breath. And we'll do one final standing posture, standing flow before we move down to our backs. So you can come forward towards the front edge of your mat and find your eagle pose. Let's start with the right thigh coming over the left, sitting into a little chair. If your legs are long enough here, if you have that flexibility, you might be able to bring the right toes all the way around the ankle for a double bind. And then we'll bring the right arm under the left, holding onto shoulders or double binding through the hands. Lift up your elbows, sit into that chair, connect to your breath. Remember that action of the belly. Notice if there's any distractions. What's consuming your mind? What's consuming your attention? We're going to keep the arms just as they are. Uncross the legs, warrior three. So finding a balanced posture as you lean forward and send the right heel back. And from here, warrior one. So bend your standing leg, send that right foot down to the back edge of your mat. The heel is rooted. Inhale, lift your elbows up. Exhale, humble warrior. Move slowly, fold to the inside of your left knee. Let the head bow down like your crown is an open spout, like you could let water pour out of the head here. And finding balance through the body by engaging in the legs, especially that back foot, staying anchored. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Lift your elbows. Exhale, release the arms all the way up to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, step forward, hands to heart. Let's go right into the other side. Step the left thigh over the right. Left arm under right. Eagle pose. Settle in. Try not to get ahead of yourself. Literally one breath at a time. Keep the arms just as they are. Find your warrior three. Trying to keep the hips level. Toes dialed down. You might imagine the inner thighs are magnetized towards one another. And then step all the way back. Find your footing. Warrior one. Inhale, lift up those elbows. Long, slow exhale, humble warrior. Anchor into the feet, fold to the inside of the knee, let the head go. Breathe. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, release the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, step forward, hands at heart. Tadasana. With your hands at the heart, actually, let's reverse that prayer. So bring your hands behind the back. And if you can't quite meet your palms, you can hold on to the forearms or onto the elbows. And just take a simple gaze over your right shoulder. Breathe here. Take a simple gaze over the other shoulder. And release the hands. Inhale right up through center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose and lower down to your belly any way you'd like. Bring your arms alongside the body. Inhale, locust pose. So root into your pubic bone, lift your feet, lift your arms, lift your head. Exhale, float it back down. Inhale, lift everything off your mat, staying anchored through the pelvis. Exhale, lower down. And on this last one, we'll hold it up. Inhale, lift. Breathing here. If you want to go deeper into your back bend, try bending the knees and finding your feet. If you find your feet, kick into the hands, bow pose. Beautiful. Lower everything back down. Hands under shoulders. Press up through tabletop, cross your ankles, and come onto your seat. Extend your legs in front of you. Dandasana or staff pose. So earlier we were on our back, finding a really similar posture here, right? We were engaged through the legs and through the core to hold steady. Same thing here, just different orientation. And send your arms overhead, lengthen your spine, and hinge from your hips, folding down to reach for your toes. When you feel like you don't fold anymore from the hips, and just let your gaze soften and find your breath. You might like to close your eyes here as we slow down for the last 10 minutes or so of class. As you breathe here, you might notice you can fold deeper, slowly, slowly. Take one more breath. And lift the head back up. Bend the knees and come all the way down to your back. So if you want to do core engagement as you lower, go for it. You can hold onto your thighs though and roll yourself down a little easier and bring your knees into the chest. Keep the right knee hugging in and send the left leg down your mat. Let's cross this knee over the body into a twist. So guide that knee all the way over with your left hand. The right arm opens out to the right like a T. And try to get your shoulder blades on the ground. You might do a little wiggle here, self-adjustment to help both shoulders rest. It might mean you twist a little less, and that's okay. Find a comfortable place to rest the gaze. For more sensation, you can gaze towards the right. Become that observer of your body, of the sensation. Try not to place any crazy demands on yourself to feel a certain way or to move a certain way. Practice accepting your body and your breath, all of it just as it is right now. Notice or observe all of those other things as distractions. And slowly unwind from your twist. Bring your hips back to the center of the mat and switch sides. Bring your left knee in, right leg goes down. Follow your breath and guide the knee over the body into a twist. Left arm comes out, wiggle those shoulder blades onto the mat. And breathe. Notice if you're resisting the posture in any way. Perhaps able to soften or let go. Maybe breathe a little deeper. Send that energy through your body. And then unwind from your twist. Realign the hips on the mat and bring both feet in, bent knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Reach down and grab your feet. The knees go out to the side. So we're in a reclined cobbler's pose. Draw your feet down towards the pelvis. Let's take a few breaths here. Letting the spine relax. Try not to overcomplicate. Just breathe. And we'll transition from here into a happy baby. So the knees come towards the armpits, the soles of the feet press up into the hands towards the ceiling. So the hands are drawing down, the feet are pressing up, the back is flat. Option to rock a little side to side or explore any sort of movement that you'd like here. And release the feet down to the mat. If you have a block, I suggest you bring it in here and just slide it right underneath of the hips, right underneath of the sacrum, starting in a restorative bridge pose. And you should feel that you're really able to let go of almost all effort here. The block should be supporting your hips. So if you feel like you need to move that around and find that sweet spot, please do so. You can let your arms go wherever they're comfortable. I'm going to give a suggestion, but feel free to modify this either now or anytime as we hold this next pose. So you can try maybe holding on to opposite elbows over the head. Just giving some space through the chest, a little more space in that upper back. Now you could stay in this restorative bridge pose, which is really great for bringing some ease to the lower back if there's any tension there. If you felt any tweaking through your practice today or through your day. Or if you'd like, you can come into a waterfall pose, just lifting the legs straight up towards the sky. Now, earlier we were super engaged, pressing the soles of the feet up. For this one, let it be softer. Let the knees maybe be a little bent. And if you lift the legs and notice that your block no longer feels supportive, then just lower the feet down and adjust your block. And again, you shouldn't have to put in much effort here at all. You can let the legs be really relaxed. And allow the rest of the body to soften as well, especially through the chest and the arms. Bringing your attention to your breath and any sensations that you might notice. Breathing a little more deeply, a little slower. Noticing the sounds around you. For a moment, let your attention drift. Listen for the sounds that are nearby. Listen for the sounds that are far away. See See if you can maintain sort of this dual attention, keeping yourself centered and present, and also really observant of the space outside you, letting yourself be present in this space. You might notice the legs start to get a little heavy. That's okay. You can stick with it, get curious. Really great posture for the end of the day to help restore the body and the mind. Especially as the temperatures start to get a little warmer, this might be a really great restorative pose to do at the end of any day, even just on its own. Let's start to bend the knees, bring the feet back down. You might feel a little rush of blood, move back down to the toes, just observe. If the arms were overhead, you can bring them back down to your sides and lift the hips just enough to remove the block. Feel your spine rolling down to the mat and extend your legs into Shavasana. Again, resting the hands anywhere that's comfortable. Letting go of all effort, of all technique in the breath. And allow yourself to just soak up all of the goodness of your practice tonight. To soak up all the goodness of your day, right? Not just this past hour, but allowing this entire day to settle, to come to a sense of completion. Notice what comes to you in this space. This is a really special place where you can tune in to that wise voice within, to that innate wisdom, inner knowledge. Just let yourself stick with it to be present for these last few moments and notice what might come into your mind's eye, what might come through as feelings or sensations, sometimes even answers. Not everything has to mean something immediately, but just be aware of whatever it is that's present for you now. Gently, gently deepen your breath. Just become aware of a slightly deeper breath, the belly moving, and feel the body being filled up with this deep breath. To help become aware of this, you might bring a hand to the heart and to the belly to feel your breath filling both the belly and the chest, filling the legs and the arms, whole body becoming full of moving prana, of energy, and letting that start to reanimate your toes and your fingers. If it feels good, maybe letting your head rock a little side to side. Taking any movements here to reawaken the body. Maybe take one final stretch. And when you're ready, you can bend the knees and roll over to your side. And gently press yourself up to a cross-legged seat where we began. Let the eyes stay maybe closed or just directed down towards the ground, keeping that attention inwards. Let your hands rest wherever you would like to close out your practice today. And we'll just take 5 deep breaths, nice, slow, deep breaths in any way that feels good to you. Count them out on your own and begin. Find what feels good. One more breath with such ease, no force. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Bow the chin gently towards the chest. Finding gratitude for yourself for showing up for this practice and for all of the other yogis that take the time for themselves, take the time to find their sense of calm and balance. Send out all of that gratitude tonight. And then to seal it in, we take a humble bow and say namaste, which just is a salute, acknowledging that the light that resides in me is the same light that resides in you, and bowing to that divine light.